Hello. That sounds better. Welcome to the Radio Power YouTube channel. Katie's got some cool Godzilla Kong toys. I'm assuming those are from the new movie based on the Godzilla's dorsal fins in the back. Are all
No,
pink?
they're from Walmart 2021. So
Oh,
yeah. This is when
th-
they were fighting. This is when they weren't friends.
gotcha. So, talking about Godzilla. Now, if you've never seen this before, Katie, have you ever seen this?
No.
Okay, I'm assuming you've heard of Criterion Collection.
Yes.
This, for a lot of people who don't have never seen it before, this is a Criterion Collection of all of the 1950s and 60s and 70s Godzilla films on Blu-ray with
Wow.
original stuff falling out of there, artwork for every single film.
That's gorgeous. Oh, Mega Godzilla.
This came out in 2019, I believe. Yeah, late 2019. They only have ever put out the Showa era films, 1954 to 1975. So they've never done the films from the 80s, the Heisei films, or the other film series, the Millennial series. Copyright reasons, I'm assuming. But we are here to talk about the newest chapter in the Monsterverse, the Monarchverse. There was a Monarch TV show last year, which was okay. It was hit or miss, but it definitely gave the stepping stones for this film to be a success. But Godzilla's also riding high on 38 films, 70 years, and an Oscar win finally. So I think the Godzilla hype was definitely high. The trailers for this movie everyone had seen during the Super Bowl and before that, and we're getting super hyped for. So the nostalgia wave for Godzilla was really good. And considering the last film came out during the 2021 part of the COVID pandemic and did okay, it's a miracle that we got this film. And it's also directed by the same guy who directed the last two films, which is great. What can they do in the next film? I don't even want to know. But let's talk about Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. It is unfreaking believable. Is it as good as Godzilla Minus One? No. Godzilla Minus One had so much heart in it that you felt connected to those people in that film. Whereas in this, you just want to see Godzilla and Kong just smashing crap with their fists because it's awesome. The human characters are okay. I love Rebecca Hall and everything, but they're okay. They're serviceable for what they're doing. The little girl returns. We don't get 11 from Stranger Things or Kyle from Friday Night Lights back here, guys. No, but we get we get our second favorite podcaster next to podcast from Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
But this film was a blast. My son and I watched it together. He's a massive Godzilla fan. I hooked him on Godzilla when he was 4 years old with Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2, which has one of the best scores to any Godzilla movie ever. It starts with this dun 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 boom boom dun 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 boom boom as the camera is panning up from the floor to reveal the new Mecha Godzilla 2 from the 1992 film in Japan, and it's awesome. Um, what were your impressions of this versus the other three Godzilla films in the MonsterVerse that have come out? Well,
So
four. I'm sorry, four counting Kong Skull Island.
one of the interesting factors of this one is that one, it has the smallest budget compared to the other three. And two, it has the least star power compared to the other three. Now, I'm not saying anything, and believe me, I am not knocking Rebecca Hall, Dan Stevens, or Brian Tyree Henry. Did I say that right? Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying anything about them. I think they're incredible. However, there's only three that are really people that you're gonna like notably like probably know their names and all that stuff. There's a number of character actors that you'll see in the film that it's like, I know this person, they're in a couple other things, you're probably not gonna know their name and all that stuff. But of the films that you just showed, this has the least amount of star power to it. Now, it also is 50 to 70 million dollars less than any of the other ones, and it also made I think almost its entire budget last weekend. I think that, look, as a fan, I think it's fun. I think visually it is stunning. I mean, the neon colors with when Godzilla just keeps absorbing that nuclear power and becomes like more and more neon pink. Love it. Kong is a badass. You see Scar Ape, who I keep calling Pete Davidson Ape, because for some reason, as soon as I saw him, he just reminded me of Pete Davidson in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. For some reason, I don't know why. You have all of the Titans. I mean, all of these Titans fights. It's like you're watching WrestleMania with Titans, honestly. Anyone who is familiar with the 1985 WrestleMania and all that stuff, there's so many memories I have when I watch this film that takes me back to there. There's also a couple of memories of Temple of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and that's King Kong kind of, or not King Kong, Kong kind of reminds me of Indiana Jones in a like sort of standing there, you know, like a little bit gruff and all that stuff. But I thought this was a fun film. Is it an excellent film? No. The music choices I think were really bad. Not necessarily
Yeah.
like they just made no sense. And also it's like kind of one of those things like, you know, those songs that you love to hear when you see one of these like, you know, awesome uh Titan kaiju movies and all that stuff that you're really familiar with. Well, you're not going to hear those. So you're probably going to hear some B-sides, maybe some songs you haven't heard before, maybe
Yeah,
some songs you know, but that just don't really make sense in this. But we're going with it. And I didn't understand why that needed to happen anyway.
this was
I
the
thought,
last film we got Godzilla's march in out of all of the Godzilla films. They didn't allow Toho didn't allow Legendary and Warner Brothers to use it for this film because they were like, you get Godzilla and that's it. You screwed it up in 1998. You get one chance to get it right this time. And we got it right. We made a lot of money, made Toho very happy. So they said, go ahead. You're allowed King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra for this film, and you get to use the score. And then that's it. We never got the score in this film. We never get the score in this film. But we didn't get it in this film either, unfortunately, which is a disappointment because when they were like charging into battle, I really wanted to hear the bombastic Godzilla music. But it's a Godzilla Kong film, not just a Godzilla film. So maybe if they do another one, and it's a Godzilla film, we'll get it back again. I mean, we got it
I
a
feel
lot
like
in -1.
Godzilla Kong, the one in 2021, it didn't, was like maybe a scene I missed with Trapper and a thing that he did that then led to a Kiss song that I'm like, was there something I missed with this? I don't know. That Trapper, played by Dan Stevens, he was funny. I love how they actually did call him out by saying he was like an Ace Ventura wannabe, which I'm like, that was exactly what was on my head. And I'm actually trying to like cosplay him while I'm doing this. To be a Titan veterinarian is like, I don't understand what, but you know what? This is a world that has Titans. So whatever happens, happens. I don't know. It was ridiculous at times, but at the same time, this is a film you need to see in IMAX to enjoy, to have fun, to just step away from the world that we know it. It's not going to be a critically acclaimed film by any means, but at the same time, this is a film that you can have fun with. It doesn't have to win an Oscar. Godzilla won the Oscar. This, just have fun, make a lot of money. You know there's going to be another one, and go from there. I think that Adam Wingard did a good job with directing. I like that the character of Gia had a much bigger storyline, and I feel like that could possibly be something maybe down the line that's going to go into it. Again, visually, it is stunning. Like this, like the colors, the CGI, like honestly, when they do it well, they do it well. And I wish I could have taken my nephews to see this. This is that type of movie that I would think they would have loved. So yeah, while I don't think it's going to be in my top 10, 20, or 50 for the year, I did think it was a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm glad that, I mean, I got to see it for free. So I recommend, again, going to see it in IMAX and having a good time with it.
You can go into every single store right now. I was just at Walmart and Target today picking up supplies, and they had displays up for Godzilla toys. They had like actual risers up filled with Godzilla action figures, which is fantastic. You get the new characters like the little baby Kong sumo, and you get Scar King, and you get Shumo, the dragon
Frozen
that
Dragon.
yeah, the dragon that
Ooh.
breathes the cold freeze, which is really cool. And there's a they explain the backstory very well about what that is and how it's connected to Godzilla. And there's a huge, no pun intended, surprise cameo by another kaiju that we've all been wanting to see again. I thought the humor was silly fun. It was just as awkward and bad as the Monarch TV show. Go watch the Monarch TV show if you have Apple TV. I did hear there's a disc release coming for it, hopefully. We'll wait and see. But because of the success of this movie, the on the fence if there's going to be a season two has been completely cleared. There's going to be a season two. The first season was a hit or miss for Apple TV. It was not highly praised, but it wasn't completely disregarded. But I guarantee they were waiting to see what the box office was for this movie to go get season two out there. So we're definitely going to get a season two of the Monarch TV show, which is fine because Monarch is a big part of this movie, which I was very happy about for the
Well, and anything that
for what
has
it
Kurt
was.
Russell in it, I'm gonna go see.
What they're gonna bring into the next movie, who knows? Could we have a new monster? That'd be fine. But how about a classic monster? How about we get Gigan? How about we get Destroya, which is the demonic-looking devil creature that killed Godzilla in Godzilla versus Destroya, which ended the franchise, by the way, for quite a number of years until the Godzilla 2000. He's got a bevy of bad guys or whatever to fight. How about building him an ally? Like Jet Jaguar or Gojira or something like that. That would be awesome. Um, but I digress. Go see this movie. Go buy some awesome Godzilla toys. This thing, I don't know if it's still available or not, but you can check out my review on my Radio Horror YouTube channel here about Godzilla, the Criterion Collection. I own almost every Godzilla film on Blu-ray. There's only two films I don't have. Um, I don't have Rodan, and I don't have Godzilla. I don't have Godzilla versus Megagyrus, which is like a insect bat like creature thing of a jig that came out after Godzilla 2000. But I digress. Thank you, everyone. Check out Katie over on her YouTube channel, on her Facebook page, The Blonde in Front, and the rest of our videos here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel
And Instagram, the
and
blonde in front.
Instagram. Or you can send us an email, thatradiohorror@gmail.com. And maybe when the Monarch does come out on disc, we'll do a big review of that because I consider that to be like one giant kind of like movie chopped up into chapters.
There you
And is
go.
an important part of this Monsterverse. They have been kicking ass with this Monsterverse. They failed on the DC universe, and now James Gunn's going to take over and do his thing. But let's face it, they have hit it with this Monsterverse. They've done it correctly, which is very funny to say. This and the Conjuring universe, I mean, whether you love or hate all those films or whatever, they keep making them and they keep getting made successfully. So this MonsterVerse, I'm shocked and I'm so happy it's continuing because it's been a buttload of fun. Let Japan do their more artistic Godzilla films. Let us have our monster smash films, but just in a way that really is enjoyable and doesn't leave anyone scratching their heads going, "What the hell did I just watch?" So,
Yeah.
and there hasn't been a MonsterVerse film that's had that happen. Even Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was not a success. We have a review of that too, and I'll stick that in the link in the comment section below. That was not a success, but Godzilla versus Kong was already in development, so they got Godzilla versus Kong out, and then that was a success enough to do this film. Go see it in theaters because you're really going to get that experience of Godzilla and Kong.
In
So
theaters, but let me stress, IMAX or Dolby, you need to see this in the best visual landscape that you can, because honestly, I went to a press screening. It was not an IMAX. I felt like we got a disservice. So I'm telling everyone, see it in IMAX to really get that pop that this film deserves, because that's what you know, the majority of it about is that those pops of color.
Definitely.